It is Tuesday, September 24th of 2019. And what do you do when your computer and the applications that you use just go wrong? Well, for one thing, you won't get Guy's Daily Drive. And hello, everyone. Yes, it is late September, and we all know what that means. It means that Apple is going to release new phones and other stuff, and that lots of other companies will release stuff just before or just after, because they want to get in on that Apple marketing gravy train. So, new iPhones came out, the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. I'm not going to get either one. I'm still very happy with my iPhone 8S. It's still working just fine. The big difference between my phone and those phones, besides them being newer with a faster processor, biggest difference is, of course, the camera. The camera is much better, and it's not even an argument. It's just a lot better. And if I took more pictures, then maybe that would be a thing. But I don't really take a whole lot of pictures. I take a lot of video for Guy's Daily Drive and the Mac to the Future Go livecast that I do on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right there on the Facebooks. But pictures, not nearly so much. And the reason why all this came to be, or why it's kind of stuck into my head, is there's a program we use at work that is pretty essential to 99% of the stuff that not just me, but a lot of other people use as well. And it's not working. And it hasn't been working for 5 days. And with this coming up on the end of the quarter and the end of the fiscal year, this is a very, very bad thing. And, I'm still getting paid, even though I'm not really able to do a whole heck of a lot. So I can't really complain, other than for just being bored. But that's not all. I saw you guys remember me talking about, wasn't that long ago, talking about going down to Florida to see my brother Bill and help him get set up with the quad-core i7 Mac Mini that I had, that I wasn't using for anything. And that's all done. Everything is doing what it's supposed to do. However, because I no longer have it, I've been, I don't know why, it's so stupid, I've been kind of keeping an eye on other Mac Minis that have come up in various areas. And there was one that came up in Facebook, in one of the groups that I'm in. It wasn't Facebook's marketplace. And it was a Mac, advertised as an i5 Mac Mini quad core, which immediately kind of raised my suspicions because to the best of my knowledge, there is no such thing as a quad-core, thank you, quad-core Mac Mini i5. So when I saw it, it was kind of like, what is this? I don't really know if this is a thing. And the only reason why it still kind of became a thing for me was someone I know, Cletus Heaps, who has been a long time listener to not just Mac to the Future, but also the MyMac.com podcast. He was making noises in this particular group about getting, inquiring about this Mac Mini. And I sent him a private message basically saying, something about this doesn't seem right. Either this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or it's not what it's not what he says it is, or it's a scam. And at this point, as I record this, I don't know if it's any of those things. It's got to be, actually, let me say this. It's got to be one of those things, because 2011, 2012 Mac Minis, none of them had a quad-core i5. They did have i5s, but they were all dual-core. So that would say to me that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And if that's the only problem, because he's not asking for a ton of money for it. It's like $200. As long as it's at least a dual core i5 from 2011, 2012, well, that's fine. It just means that he didn't know what he was talking about. If it's a scam or it's misrepresented in some other way, well, then that becomes more of a problem. So, going bowling, and I'm just tired. So that's basically what's going on with that. I'm always suspicious, because this isn't in, and it's not like Facebook's marketplace has any kind of monopoly on legitimacy when it comes to selling online or even selling on Facebook. But at least it is a dedicated store as compared to just, a group that says, okay, well, we want to specialize in selling XYZ equipment. So that's, and again, because Cletus was involved, who I know, I was basically just letting him know that something seemed kind of janky and that he should just be careful. So moving on from that, had a late lunch with my son Peter. Excuse me. His significant other, Liza. My son Guy and his girlfriend Shayna. And of course, Tracy and me. We drove down to where Peter lives, which is south of us here in Northern Virginia. And we went to this restaurant. I'm not going to name it. But it was kind of known as a tap house, as, a place where you could get specialty beers and things along those lines. And that's what it was. Well, we walk in the door, and I could see some tables over in this one section. But before I could start to steer people in that direction, Shayna was like, okay, over here. No, let's go sit over here. We really need to sit over here. And I didn't particularly have a preference as long as there was enough room for 6 people. So we went over there, and as it turned out, it was not a great place to sit because it was direct sunlight and it was hot. But the reason why she was having us go over there was there was a guy who, when she was in college, and she didn't really have any interest in him, but apparently he was a bit of a stalker, and he was working there. So she didn't want to sit in the area that he was. And as it turns out, it didn't really matter, because he found out she was there, and he did try to engage her in conversation. And basically, she was like, well, I'm here with my boyfriend and my boyfriend's family, which included several large, much larger than this guy, individuals. So, there wasn't any trouble, but it was just one of those drama things that happen every so often. And it just kind of made me laugh. But I am glad that Peter has moved to where he is now, he and his girlfriend, because they are much closer to where Tracy and I live. So it's easier to go and see them. Driving down to Fredericksburg sometimes could take 2 to 4 hours from where we are. And it's about a 40 to 50 mile drive, and it shouldn't take anywhere, and a good portion of that was interstate, so it shouldn't have taken more than an hour for any of it, but it always did, because traffic on that part of 95 leaving Northern Virginia was always just so very awful. So he's now much closer, which will work out because we're leaving for Texas in about a week and a half for the wedding. And our flight leaves at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means that we have to leave our house no later than 4 a.m. to make sure that we have plenty of time to get there and get our bags in and all the rest of that. And just dealing with the sheer crap that constitutes flying in the United States now. So it's the biggest reason why I avoid it whenever I can. However, you can't go from Northern Virginia to Texas easily by car or by train, so you have to fly. And that's what's up with that. Anyway, let's go ahead and end this. I'll talk more about the Texas trip and my thoughts on flying in a later or a different Guy's Daily Drive. If you would like to help support the things that I do online, it's easy enough to do. You can go to patreon.com/MacParrot and become a regular Patreon of the stuff that I do. Patreon.com/MacParrot. You can also go to ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, and do a one-time donation, which again, that's great and groovy. You can also go to PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. If you'd like to contact me, ridiculously easy. All you have to do, send me an email, guy@mymac.com. You can find me on the Twitters, twitter.com/MacParrot or twitter.com/VertShark. Either one of those will get to me just fine. You can also, tomorrow night, I'll be doing the Mac to the Future live cast there on Facebook. Just look me up, Guy Serle, Guy Serle. around 8 o'clock or so, and that's when we're going to be recording that. Now, that's nearly always with David Ginsburg and Warren Sklar. And of course, the thing that started it all, the mighty MyMac.com podcast that I've been doing with Gaz for nearly 10 years and almost 500 episodes. We're coming up. Our 500th episode together will be 785. We just recorded 771. And that's really pretty spectacular. There's not too many podcasts out there, number one, that make it to 500 shows in total, especially a weekly show. And certainly not one that at nearly show 300 changed hosts. So that's a big deal. And we're giving some stuff away. If you'd like to win a $25 iTunes gift card, all you have to do is write or record about a 7 to 10 second little bumper that explains just how incompetent Gary Gazmaz Malpaz and I are in recording the MyMac.com podcast. We actually want you to insult us. We do. We're asking to be insulted. And if Gary likes yours or I like yours the most, that's a $25 iTunes gift card. And then there'll be 2 random ones chosen as well. So 4 different chances to win a $25 iTunes gift card for doing nothing more than telling someone how much they suck. Seems pretty easy. So thank you for downloading, watching, and or listening to Guy's Daily Drive. And I will catch you next time. Bye.